So, you've got big dreams. You see yourself living the good life, success, freedom, maybe even sipping a fancy drink on a private island. But there's one small issue. You're lazy. You know what you should be doing, but instead, you're deep in a YouTube spiral watching this video. Hey, no judgment, but let's be real. This isn't the first time. You get inspired, make big plans, and tell yourself, this time I'll change. And for a hot minute, you do. But then, the motivation wears off, the procrastination creeps in, and suddenly, you're back to square one, questioning all your
Huh?
life choices. So how do you break this cycle? How do you stop being ambitious but lazy? Today, we're tackling the paradox of being ambitious yet lazy. And by the end of this video, you'll have a game plan to turn your lazy tendencies into a productivity advantage. Chapter 1. Understanding the Paradox. First off, let's get one thing straight. Ambition and laziness aren't mutually exclusive. You can have grand visions for your life, but still find it hard to muster the energy to chase those dreams. Why? Think of yourself as a boulder. A boulder at rest stays at rest. But once it starts rolling, it's unstoppable. That first push is the hardest part. And here's where most people mess up. They think the push has to be huge, like waking up at 5 a.m., hitting the gym, meal prepping, and launching a business all before breakfast. Newsflash, that's a one-way ticket to burnout. Instead, the trick is to start small. But before we get into that, let's break down exactly why this happens. Chapter 2. Why this happens. There's actually a science behind this struggle. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. It prefers short-term pleasure over long-term rewards. That's why lying on the couch, binge-watching your favorite show feels way easier than working on your goals. It all comes down to something called dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure and motivation. Your brain gets a quick dopamine hit from easy activities like scrolling social media or watching TV. But long-term goals? Those require effort before the reward comes, and your brain isn't a
Nope.
fan of that. On top of that, there's something called decision fatigue. The more choices you make in a day, the more your mental energy depletes. That's why, by the time evening rolls around, your willpower is practically non-existent. So, how do we work with our brain instead of against it? The answer is to make the first step ridiculously easy. Chapter 3. Breaking free with small wins. Instead of saying, I need to clean my entire apartment, just start with one shelf. Instead of planning an intense hour-long workout, just commit to one push-up. Instead of trying to become a productivity master overnight, just commit to one small action. This is what I call the lazy genius hack. If you don't feel like doing something, tell yourself, I'll do it for 2 minutes, and if I hate it, I'll stop. The magic is, once you start, you'll usually keep going. It's like tricking your brain into taking action before it has a chance to resist. Chapter 4. The Power of Momentum. Let's talk about the momentum effect. Once you start, even with the tiniest action, your brain wants to complete what it started. This is called the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains hate unfinished tasks. That's why just committing to a few minutes often turns into way more than you expected. Imagine this. You tell yourself, I'll just put on my workout clothes. Then, since you're already dressed, you might as well do one exercise. Before you know it, you've done an entire 30-minute workout. This same trick works for studying, cleaning, or even starting that side hustle you've been putting off. Chapter 5. Strategies for the Ambitiously Lazy. All right, now that we understand the science, let's go over some tactical strategies to work with your lazy brain instead of against it. Break it down. Instead of overwhelming yourself, start small. If your goal is to write a book, begin with just one paragraph a day. Small wins build up over time. Habit stacking. Pair a new habit with an existing one. Want to read more? Read for 5 minutes while drinking your morning coffee. Trying to work out? Do a few stretches right after brushing your teeth. Set a lazy timer. Work for just 25 minutes, then take a break. The Pomodoro technique is perfect for tricking your brain into productivity without overwhelming it. Reward yourself. Make it fun. Finish a task? Reward yourself with something you love, whether it's a movie, a snack, or just some guilt-free lounging time. Your brain loves rewards, so use them to reinforce good habits. Gamify your productivity. Turn tasks into a game. Track streaks, set up rewards, or challenge yourself to beat your previous record. Find an accountability partner. Sometimes all you need is someone else to keep you on track. Find a partner with similar or different ambitions but the same struggle with laziness. Use environment design. Make productivity easier by changing your surroundings. If you want to read more, leave books in visible places. If you want to work out, set your workout clothes next to your bed at night. Chapter 6. Real Talk. Look, being ambitious but lazy isn't a flaw, it's just part of your personality. The key is to work with it, not against it. Recognize your patterns, adapt your strategies, and you'll find that you can achieve your goals without exhausting yourself. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. You don't need to transform overnight. Just make sure you're voting for progress, one small step at a time. And remember, your brain isn't the enemy. It just needs a little guidance. Chapter 7. Conclusion. Remember, your ambition is your superpower, and your laziness is just a challenge to overcome. They can coexist if you manage them right. Let's recap. You don't need massive motivation. You just need small wins. Your brain is wired for short-term pleasure, so work with it. Start ridiculously small, build momentum, and trick your brain into action.
The secret to getting ahead is getting started.
Mark Twain. So, let's make laziness your secret weapon and turn your lazy days into productive ones. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do.